everyone, John Henry here, slingshotfutures.com, and welcome to the Market Mindset, where we take a look at the psychology behind the moves today so we can better understand tomorrow. And today, we're taking a look at the S&P 500. Now, the S&P 500 went on a little bit of a tear today. Heavy amount of bullishness coming into play here across all of the indexes. But the S&P probably the strongest out of all of them, with the NASDAQ being the biggest in terms of movement. Overall, really, when we have this type of day, this is when you start seeing aggression step in. This is where really any pullback becomes a buying opportunity. Buyers will buy in for any reason they can get their hands on. And that's really the way that it needs to be approached. Now, when we started off the day, we come in at 8 o'clock, and we really had nothing happening. Really small, shallow, bear wedge / channel, not really anything going on. And then we broke out aggressively at the open. Now, the aggressive breakout at the open doesn't necessarily mean much, because it could easily just reverse right back down. If you've seen a lot of stock exchange opens, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's not enough proof, right? We need a little more information than just, okay, well, it had a strong breakout above the range highs. It looks like it's generally bullish for the day, but we need more than that. And then they follow through with another bull candle closing on its highs, and then another bull candle closing on its highs, and then another bull candle, right? You get the idea. It's just pounding over and over and over again, to the point where once you get to this point, really the first pullback that occurs, buyers are going to be jumping in just because we've shifted gears. Something has happened that has caused the market to push aggressively out of that earlier range and back in the direction of the prevailing trend, which in this case is up. So we get that first little pullback there, just barely pushing down, really weak bear candle, and a beautiful signal to jump on in and push the market back up to new highs, assuming that we have a very high probability that the market is going to turn around and at least attempt to make new highs, if not succeed. And that's what happens, right? We pull down, barely any breakdown at all. They just, barely broke below the previous candle's low, and then turned right back up again to a new high. Beautiful, quick little move there. We start pulling back. We get two candles in the pullback this time around, but notice the size and type of candle. Big, heavy bear bar, absolutely no follow-through, right? If the sellers were so convinced that this was going to go down, why couldn't they keep that candle going? The next candle couldn't even close below that bear candle's low, let alone even go one tick further than the entry point of a lot of sellers. That is a huge sign of weakness, and the fact that it turned right back around and went bullish, there may be a lot of sellers that were thinking, well, maybe this is a range that just broke out a little ways. I'm going to try to sell it and get the market back down. Their entry was right there, and it turned immediately back around. They didn't even go a tick into profitability before the market reversed right back on them. And if their stop is right above here and they see this kind of movement, there's no way they're hanging on to that, because they don't believe it anymore, and they begin exiting above, trying to take a smaller loss or mitigate their loss before it goes out of control. So a beautiful buying opportunity, as long as you're paying attention to the context of the markets. That's a really nice buying opportunity, knowing that sellers are stuck and they're likely going to start exiting aggressively. Now we make a double top, and we start attempting to turn down again, but this time it can't even trigger in sellers before blowing through the top. Again, in the context here with a very strong trend in play, a breakout type market that just keeps pounding the highs over and over again, they couldn't even get enough strength to trap in sellers before buyers started slapping the market button, and it closed right back on its highs again. Another buying opportunity for continuation up to 60-minute resistance. And that leads us into the lunchtime session, where things have gone a little bit quiet. But overall, just a phenomenal day in the index markets. And as long as you stayed on the right side, go with the trend on this kind of day, you did perfectly fine. Hopefully you learned something about it. Hopefully you found it interesting, a little bit, entertaining here and there. And just a great example of a bull breakout runaway type of day. So if you have any questions, as always, you can send me an email at jbrink@slingshotfutures.com. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.